So you're in Fur Ridge now?
Yes.
Are your sisters?
Sister, no. Yeah.
Nice. When do you drive to Emporia?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow you're gonna go down there?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be really wet this year.
Yeah.
Hey, Art, would you be in the way if I put him over there in the corner?
No,
You know,
I'm almost done here, you know, I won't be long.
Oh, let's take time a little bit so we can talk to him. You know, let's see how it looks here. It's kind of weird with Ari behind you asking questions and then you on camera over there. I'd like to be able to see both of you guys. That makes more sense. Have a seat. Because this doesn't happen every day at the bike shop. Although it happens more often than you think.
Yeah, we have visitors.
Yeah. All you have to do is ask questions and be curious and find out what people are up to. Now, I think the shot will get better when we get done. Here's some more. We're going to get our, we're going to make this a little bit better as we go for right now. This will work. Keep shifting. Boop, 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 boop.
I saw you were riding in the forest behind us. There's a lot of gravel back.
That's right. Been there the past week. Actually, I was there yesterday.
Oh, yesterday?
Yesterday. And I'm...
Did some gravel?
Yes. There and along the railroad tracks.
Oh, the railroad tracks, that gravel? That's what Dirty Kanza is going to be like, or
that's
Unbound.
That's right. I was really happy when I saw that gravel along the...
Yeah. Yeah, you can go pretty far on it. You can go very east from here.
I went maybe until the side where this Ruby substation.
Mm-hmm.
And then the track ends.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The gravel ends, and then I went back.
Very tiny.
Just that one, right?
Hmm?
That.
Yeah. Yeah. Right there. Trying to get little by little, you know?
That's right.
It probably got bent in the transportation. Was it in a soft case?
Yes.
Or hard
It's
case?
a Cyclone case.
Cyclone case, yeah.
Although that's facing inside.
Mm-hmm. That's a tough one.
What
To
type
BC.
of bike were you riding back then?
Black Mountain Cycles.
Black.
Yeah.
It's steel.
Orange
alloy.
one. Steel.
Steel.
Yeah.
So it's
What's
heavy.
wrong with it?
Yeah.
I actually have a steel bike, Niner.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
so
most-
heavy.
Mm-hmm.
That's why this is the one that I bought.
Well, back then we didn't have a lot of choices.
That's
you
right.
know?
You know, bring it in.
And,
Let's take a look at it.
There was
If
no
it can,
tire
you
choices
know,
either.
If it can be
Thinner,
done,
right?
bike stuff.
35 millimeter.
Probably.
Yeah. Schwalbe touring
But I want,
tires.
you know, I want
Touring.
Touring tires.
Doesn't have that many knobs, I suppose.
The one I had was kind of like this. It was a Schwalbe Extreme,
Okay.
Touring Extreme, Marathon Extreme, 35 millimeter, and then I put
Yeah,
latex
I mean, I
tubes
don't
in it
know, like I said, I
to
don't
make
know
it
until
a
I
little
see
lighter.
it, you know.
because it's a
if
800
doable,
gram
we can
tire.
probably do it. If not, then you'll probably have to go around.
Is it 700 or 650?
700.
700.
Yeah, I mean, if it can be done at a bike shop,
Well,
we can do it.
27.
You know what I mean? So,
Have you been back?
2015, I was back.
yeah, we'll take a look.
Yeah.
We can at
When they
least
had the
look
bad
at
rains,
What's going on?
we walked 3.5 miles in a B road
Carry you.
carrying the
Yeah,
bikes.
yeah, I mean, we've got some of that stuff around, so.
The weather forecast kind of okay. It's going to be sunny on Saturday.
Yep, take care of me. My name is
But there's a
Al.
lot of water.
Yep.
Okay, I think it's.
Oh, it's magic.
Mhm.
Yep. It's it.
Making noise? It was making noise?
It was making noise.
No, it's not making noise.
Yeah.
Hey, so you just walked into our bike shop with a problem. Your bike was making a little bit of noise,
Yes.
and we asked you where you were from. And you said
Manila, Philippines.
Manila. So you're from the capital.
Yes, I am from
Wow. And it turns out that what is your name? We don't even know.
Jonas.
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 Yeah,
My name is Ari.
Jonas.
Ari.
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 I'm Joe.
J-R-I.
Joe.
Joe. Yeah.
Yes. Nice to meet you guys.
My mother's from the Philippines.
Really?
Yeah. She's from Batangas.
Oh, so you understand the guy.
Oh, I don't. You know, I'm one of those Filipinos in the United States that doesn't speak a lot of Tagalog.
words.
You know. Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah. So, we were asking you, you know, where you were from. You said you were here in the area in Burr Ridge,
Burr Ridge.
visiting your sister. Is that right?
With my sister-in-law. Yes.
And it turns out that he is here because you are.
Participating in UNBOUND 200 miles.
The 200 miler
200 miler.
of Unbound.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. And that takes place
In Emporia, Kansas. This Saturday.
this Saturday.
Yes.
So, I mean, this is the countdown now.
This is the countdown because I'll be leaving tomorrow.
So you-
Driving there.
And how long have you been in Chicago?
Last Thursday.
Okay, so you've been here a week, just kind of acclimating
Yes,
and getting
yes,
ready
that's right.
for everything. And
Getting rid of the jet lag.
yeah,
That's right.
and a free place to stay for a little bit too.
Yeah, that's right. That's a big part.
That's a big part of
course.
it. Yeah, that's the closest place you have to stay until it's time to start paying for a hotel
For the
room.
rent.
Yeah.
For the hotel. Yes,
For a
correct.
hotel, yeah.
Did
Yeah.
you get a hotel room down there?
Yeah, I got.
Oh, nice. You're lucky.
Well, I booked a couple of months ago, and the only available hotel is at Topeka.
Okay.
That's
Oh, yeah.
1 hour
Topeka,
away.
Kansas.
Yeah, this 1 hour away. And
Yep.
then before heading here, I had a look at the hotels again.
Mhm.
And then I saw a couple of available hotels in La Quinta.
Mm-hmm.
So I booked it right away.
Nice.
But then I have to transfer to another place in
Mhm.
Manhattan during race day.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be my wife who will be transferring.
So your wife is here as well from the Philippines?
Yes, my wife.
Oh, very nice. So you have support. You have
Yes.
some support.
Yes. So weird thing is I'll be traveling there
Mhm.
with my wife, of course,
Uh-huh.
with my mom-in-law,
Okay.
and with my nieces.
Okay, so you have a big.
I'm really surprised when I learned this morning that it will be a group of 5.
Oh boy, everybody's excited.
This morning,
Yeah.
this morning. It was originally just 3.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
then
Now the pressure's on. Now you have to perform.
that's right.
You can't let them down.
That's right. But I'm kind of more relaxed because finding out that my wife won't be alone.
Yeah.
She
No.
doesn't know the place.
Yeah, of
She
course.
has to go around the area. So,
Is this your first time in Chicago?
no, this is the second time.
second time. Yeah.
We were here in 2022
Okay.
with my
Nice.
kids.
Yeah. Well, you are sitting next to an Unbound
That's
alum, which is unusual
That's right.
to encounter around here.
Yeah.
Ari did it. When did you do it, Ari?
2011 is when I did it. Before that, I was doing Trans Iowa, which was another big gravel event. And then I decided to do Unbound, which was then called Dirty Kanza 200. And I got ready. I rented a car and I took my wife and my 2 kids and a cooler with food. And we went down there. And the only thing my wife said to me, she's like, if you make me drive all the way down here, you better finish.
That's right.
So I had that pressure on.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, when the family's involved,
Yeah.
all of a sudden there's pressure.
There's a lot of stories about it, but mainly as we were traveling further down towards Emporia, the thermometer in the car showed warmer and warmer and warmer temperatures. And then when we got there on, I believe it was Thursday, we got there at 10 o'clock at night. It was still 87 degrees outside at night and humid. So I decided to go for a 7-mile walk to loosen up my legs. And then we also slept without the air conditioner on, so I wouldn't get shocked by being in air conditioner and then racing in 100-degree weather. So it was a very interesting race. Consumed close to 5 liters of water within the first checkpoint. The sun was very hot. The wind was very hot. And the only thing you could do is hydrate constantly with electrolytes and salts and all that kind of stuff.
You're kind of scaring me.
No, it was good. It was good. So back then there was only 350 racers that day. And the field has grown a lot. But out of 350, only 65 of us finished. We had 100-degree weather. We had storms with lightning that dropped the temperature down to 70 degrees. We went through a town where the mayor didn't allow the flags at the corners. So they had painted arrows on the roads, but because of the rain, the arrows washed away. So we couldn't find our way. And then I ended up finishing around, I started at 6 a.m. and I think we finished at 2:20 a.m. the next day. So it was a long day in the saddle.
Did he have it cut off?
Cutoff was 2:30 a.m. I think.
Whoa.
Yeah. So we made it
You're
within,
cutting it close.
yeah, really close. Yeah. So a lot of mud, lots of adversity, a lot of heat, a lot of cramps. So the things that I learned was to drink a lot of liquids with electrolytes in them and salts. I ate real food. I had sandwiches to eat. I drank a lot of pickle juice because somehow that helps you. I don't know why, but it has salt and vinegar and other things in it, so that helped a lot. And I wore a light-colored jersey, a white jersey that got trashed, white socks, and then I had a handkerchief around my neck to protect my neck from getting burned. So there was some good tricks that I learned, you know. And I did have back then a frame bag, and I had a bladder inside the frame bag with 3 liters of water with the hose that came out, and that's where I was drinking most of my water from.
Okay, so there's no backpack hydration.
I didn't have a backpack. A lot of people had the hydration packs, but I didn't, because I felt that it was so hot. I didn't want to have a bag on my back. A lot of riders that were quitting, I was seeing them hiding in bushes. They were wearing black shorts, black jerseys, and they only had 2 water bottles on their bikes. So so they were definitely dehydrated. So that was a big thing.
And that was 2011. People didn't even know about gravel in 2011. It was still
Yeah,
relatively new. Like,
it was newish.
I mean,
yeah.
you were right at the. I mean, you were cutting edge in terms of there weren't gravel bikes, for example. I mean, Salsa was just kind of getting into that whole kind of marketing the whole
a lot
gravel
of people
bike
were on
thing.
mountain bikes.
Yep.
A lot of 29er mountain bikes.
Mhm.
Tire choices, as I was telling you, on us were very poor. There was a few tires. One of them was the Kenda Small Block 8. Another tire was the Schwalbe Marathon Extreme, which was a touring tire. And that's what we used back then. You know? Everybody had narrow rims. A lot of people had cantilever brakes or V brakes.
Probably using a lot of cross bikes.
A lot of cross bikes,
Yeah.
cross checks. I was riding Black Mountain Cycles, Monster Cross. So there wasn't a lot of gravel equipment, special equipment like we have now.
Mm-hmm.
Almost nobody on carbon wheels or carbon frames. So mostly aluminum, steel, and maybe some titanium bikes.
It was a different crowd back in that day. So, I mean, the people that were doing, like, this category didn't really exist yet, right? You guys kind of invented this ultra.
Yeah, the ultra thing basically started with Trans Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it all started. And then Jim Cummings was the director for Dirty Kanza, and then he was starting also Dirty Kanza, and that started off with maybe 30 people or so, and then it grew and eventually became Unbound, which is the premier gravel event in the world, basically.
Yeah, it's the big one. I mean, it's drawing people from the Philippines. It's an international
from all over the world, and pro level riders that used to be road riders are now turning into gravel pros, and so it's an exciting new world.
And so you understand, I mean, if you're here from the Philippines, I mean, you're coming here to do Unbound from the Philippines.
Yes.
Back home in the Philippines, you must be, you do gravel events back home. And I mean, you must be pretty serious in order to travel across the world to come and
train for this and
do this. I mean, so what is your history back home in the Philippines with gravel?
I was growing up. I was pretty athletic. Not varsity type of level, but I'd play basketball around the community. And I've been working for 30 years now. But then I would really play in the corporate leagues, and then I shifted to doing endurance events back in 2008. So I started running because I'm getting bigger, heavier, getting this beer belly. And then since back in college, I always wanted to do triathlons. So in 2009, I started doing triathlons. And that's the background for endurance events. So 2014, I did Ironman Langkawi, which is really, really hot because it's Southeast Asia, Malaysia, tropical climate. So that's my first.
Hot and humid.
And in 2018, I did Ironman Philippines. So I have 2 Ironmans.
Nice.
And I stopped doing triathlons 2019 and didn't do anything for 5 years. So last year, I decided to get my first gravel bag. So it's a 9er steel. Just 1 month after getting it, I raced my first gravel event. I placed 6th in my category, my age group.
Nice.
And the 5th placer just beat me by 3 seconds.
Wow.
So I wasn't expecting anything. I just wanted to ride, get a feel of what gravel is about. So
you caught the bug.
Caught the bug, and I got challenged because it's just 3 seconds and I would be standing at the podium. Right?
Nice. Wow.
So I got hooked, and as you can see, I'm addicted. So I didn't bring the steel bike because it's kind of heavy. So I bought this one.
Yeah, that's a giant carbon fiber, right?
Yes, that's right.
And so back home, you participate. I'm guessing there's a big gravel scene. I mean, the Philippines is a huge cycling scene there in
Yeah,
the Philippines.
there's-
I mean, you know, that's our bad timing for our compressor to kick off, but it'll die down in a second. I mean, from what I see coming from the Philippines, like they're, I mean, amazing bikes and a huge scene. Like the people that are into it in the Philippines, and not just in the Philippines, but Filipinos in general who like bicycles, like they post up. You know, I see stuff out of California, out of Florida, even here locally. Like Filipinos don't ride cheap bikes. Everybody's on something really nice. Colnagos, cast helmets, you know, good clothes. So I mean, it's a real, you know, the people who take it seriously really take it seriously there.
Very enthusiastic.
Yeah, I mean, when you do it, you do it. You know, I mean, it's a real commitment to the sport and to what they're doing. Do you know any other people from the Philippines that are here to do Unbound? Did you come?
No.
So right now you're like,
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
me. Actually, it's the story is that. So I got my first bike around May race, my first event,
Mhm.
and then that's around the same time when Unbound is held, right? So I have this friend who said, "Okay, let's join Unbound next year
uh-huh.
because we have this hype coming, finishing our first gravel race."
Yeah.
So by November, the last day of the registration, I registered.
And you got in? Wow.
My friend who was saying that we should register, he did not.
He didn't get
He didn't register at all.
Oh, so he got you in and then you were stuck.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And then after a week, I saw the notification that
Uh-huh.
I got selected. So,
Yeah. Oh, you know, what was meant to be is meant to be, right?
There's so many riders that it's become a lottery.
Mhm.
That's
So,
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So when you go home now, when you get back to the Philippines, it's going to be like, you know, when you show up at the races, people are going to have a lot of questions about your experience there.
Correct.
Wow, that's great. That's great. You know, it takes one, and then maybe in the
Yeah.
following years you're traveling with 2 or 3 people. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Could be.
Next year he'll bring a crowd here.
Could be.
well, I mean, yeah, sometimes it takes one person, right,
Yeah.
to kind of go and do it, and then all of a sudden people are like, well, if that guy could do it, and he lives down the street, I can do it, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's great. I mean, it just goes to show how big this is now. You know, some of these events are really taking off not only here but around the world. I mean,
Mhm.
you know, gravel has opened up that opportunity. I honestly think it's where the future of the sport is. It's where the growth in cycling is happening. You know, it's why you see gravel in the Tour de France these days,
Yeah.
because people love gravel. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, and you can fight it all you want, but
And there's gravel everywhere.
you
You
know,
can always find it.
yeah, and there's a lot of reasons for it. I think personally, one of the biggest reasons for it is that you know, people don't want to ride on the road.
Mhm.
Say what you will, it's scary to ride on the road for a lot of people. I grew up riding on the road for a long time, and even if I can avoid riding on the road, I do. You know, and so gravel is kind of, you know, it's just a little, I think, safer for people. It's an easier way to introduce kids to the sport, because what kind of sane, you know, parent is going to encourage their 12 or 13-year-old kid to get on a road bike and ride on the road, you know? And so it's a good starter sport for people. Mountain biking and gravel, I think it's a good way to introduce kids. And I think if you know, like you've seen in professional racing, if at some point you are good enough in the sport, whether it's cyclocross or mountain biking or anything else, you will end up on the road. The road, the Tour de France, you know, that level of bike racing, at some point the cream rises to the top, and no matter how good you are at gravel or mountain biking or anything else, the Tour de France is a Tour de France.
Mhm.
And if you have that in your heart to be the best of the best, or to compete against the best of the best, you know that the Tour de France and that level is the creme de la creme of
The
bicycle,
pinnacle.
the pinnacle.
Mhm.
And you'll always have that challenge, you know? And so I think that you'll find people are finding their way to that kind of racing, but it's through events like this. It's different means these days, you know. And there's some people that just settle in gravel, you know, they'll never move out of that, or they'll never move out of mountain biking. But the people that have it, you know, the kids that have it, they'll find their way to the Tour de France, you know. So
that's true.
I think it's you know, I think it's really interesting. It's something that we have to wrap our heads around, you know, as an industry, because you know, it's where normal people are at right now, you know. And Unbound is a really, you know, good example of that. And Ari was one of the first guys out there doing gravel with
2008.
2008.
That's when I started, kind of.
Nobody was there. Nobody was doing any of this. I never even heard about that. You know, that stuff was so off the map. I remember going to some of those websites, and they were just kind of.
Yeah, I was talking to my friend Mark when he came to visit here last August, and I was telling him how when I discovered gravel, I didn't know that it even existed, because on the other side of the Mississippi River, next to Illinois, is Iowa, and Iowa has 48,000 miles of gravel roads. It's everywhere. And when we went there, we were in shock just to see endless miles and miles of rolling hills with all gravel. And I had lived here for 10, 15, 20 years in Chicago, and I didn't know that all that was on the other side of the Mississippi River. So if you ever come here and have more time, that's where you need to go, is to Iowa. Iowa, that's kind of the epicenter of gravel riding. That's where it kind of originated.
It's right on the west, right?
West of Illinois. Yeah.
About 3 hours.
3 hours.
3 hours directly west of here. You'll run into it, right?
Yeah, you see the Mississippi River that starts up north and comes all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. You cross over the Mississippi River, and then you're in Iowa, and then you just start looking around, and you'll find all these beautiful gravel roads. You could ride the rest of your life there and never do the same road again.
Yeah. So awesome, man. Well, you know, good luck in your race, and you know, it was great. It was great meeting you. You know, I mean, people stop by here all the time. You could have come in, and we would have just adjusted a derailleur, and you would have been on your way, and we would have known the story. And you know, it's what makes you happy about showing up to work on a Tuesday afternoon at the bike shop. You never know.
Memorial Day.
After Memorial Day, it's quiet out here. I mean, it's quiet outside. It's still, you know, summer hasn't broken here, but. Do
you have any questions about
Emporia
or anything?
Definitely. I've been reading stories about tire punctures and all this stuff. I do have some tire inserts. Just to make sure that it could run flat if needed. What's the advice that you can?
Well, the tire issue was always a lot of people spending a lot of time training on their bikes and then arriving to Emporia with used old tires that were thin. And that's why they would get punctures. And they would get punctures even more back then because we had to use inner tubes. We didn't even have tubeless systems or foam inserts or nothing. So we had to run the pressure a little bit higher, like 45, 50 pounds was kind of normal because we had narrower tires. But I would say for flat tires, make sure you know how to use your plugs. And just look where you're going, you know, follow a good line. So if there's rocks, you know, and you can go around them because the rocks in the Flint Hills are very sharp. They have sharp edges on them and they will cut your sidewall. Make sure you have something to boot the sidewall of your tire, like those park boot kits. I don't know if you know what those are. They're kind of a square piece of plastic that you can put inside the tire in case you cut the sidewall.
Is that similar to tire inserts or different?
No, this is called what do they call those, Joe? They call it a tire boot.
For
you know those park tire boots that if you cut the sidewall of your tire, you can put that down. I think it's called a tire boot.
Yeah,
You know,
it
we'll
looks
show you what it looks like.
It looks
you
like
know?
a big patch. Like
Yeah.
like
And then your
piece of rubber.
chain, you must carry extra links for your chain and a chain tool in case you have to shorten your chain. Make sure all the bolts on your bike are tight because they tend to rattle loose. You see a lot of water bottle cages all along the course that people lose their water bottles. You know, so make sure you don't lose your water bottles. Make sure your phone is charged. And make sure you have an idea of how your body feels. You know, like eat before you get hungry, drink before you get thirsty. You know, keep hydrating. You know, constantly. And I think make a goal to work in small amounts, 20 miles, 30 miles. Do blocks. Don't think, ooh, I gotta go 200 miles. I gotta go 20 miles. I gotta go another 20 miles to make it to the first checkpoint. Don't spend too much time at the checkpoint. Eat your sandwich, drink your pickle juice, whatever, refuel, put some oil on your chain and keep going, you know? Because every minute that you lose, it becomes less time that you have to finish. Do you have a certain time that you want to finish in?
Looking at maybe 14, 15 hours.
14 hours, 15 hours, yeah. I think you can do it.
It's doable. You know, I mean, and you have a lot of support, and now you have our support. We're going to be thinking about that, right? I mean, this is great.